Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we warmly welcome you to A2Y. How are you doing, Aziz?
A to Y. Something different.
That's a good one.
A to Y.
Have we switched today?
How's your Thursday evening, Yasas? What's happening
It's
in UAE?
UAE. It's good. Weather is good. It's becoming colder, so things are okay. How is it in Sri Lanka?
Uh, oh, it's raining here in Kandy like cats and dogs, Yasas. Crazy rain.
Okay.
Somewhat I like the rain now. Now I'm getting used to the rain, evening rain.
Now we had rain last Friday, and it flooded UAE.
Ah,
Vehicles were
really?
underwater.
UAE?
Yes, because we don't have a good
Interesting.
drainage system here. So,
Ah,
despite all the things that we have, so it was a bad experience for everyone. And so, when it rains here, it rains heavily here. Happens once in a while,
I
but
see.
we, we don't enjoy it either.
Uh,
Anyway,
not
so
artificial rain, yeah.
it
Not
happens that way. I'm not sure last Friday what it was, but they do a lot of cloud seeding. So,
mm,
you never know.
interesting. So we
Anyway,
are going
Azi,
to talk
today,
about something interesting today, right, Yasas?
exactly. Because all our viewers and listeners, you know that we come up with very relevant topics that will help you, especially as entrepreneurs, as business leaders, as um, business decision makers. We like to
Yeah.
talk about topics that is relevant, that would add value to your business, especially for entrepreneurs, because we believe entrepreneurs really fuse the market, they fuel the market, and without entrepreneurs, we cannot really grow a market and economy. So whether it's in Sri Lanka or anywhere else in the world, we believe as entrepreneurs, what we've learned, what we've experienced,
Mm.
has some kind of value to whoever who's listening, and we can share our thoughts. So today, Aziz, what are we going to talk about?
Oh, something very personal, as well as it's actually based on a real story. We thought of having this discussion. So we are going to talk about ICP, identifying your ideal customer profile.
When you say ICP, Aziz, I just had a faint memory. Maybe I'm wrong. Was there a chat agent those days when we started using the internet called ICP?
I can't recall
There
it,
was,
yes. Yes.
there was something similar, something like ICP. I remember with a flower. Um, the days we were using Hotmails and
Ah,
the chat applications. I remember
I
something
see.
called, maybe it was ICP. Anyway, so today we are going to talk about how do you define your ideal customer profile. Azi, I think we should quickly talk about why this is important and what this
True.
ideal customer profile is about, right?
Yes. Yes.
So let's start with now. If you take a business, if you take your business, your services, um, there's a target audience, and we have spoken about this some time ago when we talked about advertising. We talked about various other aspects of who your target audience is. We talked about the digital marketing plan, and in that we talked about you need to know your ideal customer profile for positioning, and also
Mhm.
if you're a salesperson, if you're a marketing person, without knowing your ideal customer profile, you will not know
Mhm.
anything. So what is ideal customer profile? Ideal customer profile is basically if you can, in several words, define who you sell your products or services to, that is the profile of your ideal customer. Now, you may have different customers. Example, Ajit, if you look at products, some products can be used for multiple purposes. Now, I'll give I don't know how true this is, but
Yeah.
the sanitary ware which is made for females, right?
Mm.
In
Mm.
one rural village, uh, it had been one of the salespeople had gone and they tried to sell it, right?
Mm.
But there were no sales. Nobody was using it. The shop owners didn't know how to sell it. So
Mm.
the basic assumption there was this doesn't work. While the same
Mm.
salesperson goes to another rural village, okay, the main shopkeeper had been waiting for the salesperson and said, Hey,
Mm.
sir, I was waiting for you. Where are you? I sold out everything. And then he was very
Wow.
surprised. Like, really? How did you sell? Who's buying this? And
Yeah.
apparently, it was the farmers who were buying it as a substitute for mass for their hairspray machines for the
Yeah.
pesticides. Right? Now, if you take that story, I don't know if the story is real or not, but is the farmer your ideal customer profile? No.
Mm.
Right? It is not the ideal customer profile because
Mm.
the product is made for a different purpose. Right? Now, is it going to give you revenue if farmers buy it? Yes. But is that what you want to do? No. So
Mm.
sometimes, whilst it's a sale, whilst it will generate revenue, it might not be your ideal customer profile. So you need to really figure out it because the more you know about your ideal customer profile, it's very easy to
Mm.
explain. It's very easy to
Right.
strategize. It's very easy to advertise. It's very easy to generate your content, your creatives, your message. So this is why the ideal customer profile is important.
Mm.
Now,
Mm.
if you're an established organization, most of the time, Asi, we would know this, right? You would know it back of your mind. Everyone would know, okay, this is my ideal customer profile. But if you're a startup, if you're an entrepreneur, most of the time you wouldn't know that.
Mm.
For us as a startup, Hash33, we took a while to really understand who our ideal customer profile is. And with our
Yeah.
services, with our the way we look at things, sometimes the ideal customer profile changes.
Mm.
Were you going to say something, Azi? I felt like you were
Yeah, I'm
going to
just
say something.
about to tell you. I just wanted to summarize what you said. So basically, what you are implying here is rather than just shooting blindly, uh, know and understand who are the actual client who will believe in you, who will believe in your product, who will believe in your product and services, and the values. So know that will help you to obviously gain the client, obviously gain the revenue. So that's
Exactly,
what I
Azi.
wanted to
And
share.
good point. And there are actually two types of people. When you say ideal customer profile, it's the ideal consumer or the persona that you're looking at. So there'll be individuals who are your ideal customer profile, and there'll be your ideal company profile. There are companies because if you are especially to the B2B market, right? You sell to organizations, and within those organizations you have multiple buyers, or you
Mm.
have multiple people in a DMU. You say the decision
Mm.
making unit.
Yeah.
Now, what's the decision making unit? I think we talked about it some time ago, but in a nutshell, you will have obviously a decision maker who might be probably the managing director, might be the
Mm.
CEO, might be the C level of that operation, like the CEO, CFO, CMO, and then you will have actual buyers,
Mm.
where there'll be users, there'll be influencers. So, for an example, maybe a particular department or another department head might be an influencer for a buying decision. That person might say, "Hey, by the way, I've heard the other company is using this, our competitor is using it, so maybe we should use it." Now, that
Mm.
persona, that person will not be the buyer, will not be the decision maker, but will influence. Same way, you have gatekeepers. Gatekeepers can be even if you're a salesperson, the security guard sometimes who really keeps the
Yeah.
gate away from you, who won't allow you to go. But also there will be people who are against you, who are supporting
Mm.
some other product.
Yeah.
People who would worry about losing their jobs. Now we've been in the IT
Mm.
sector for a while. One of the
Yeah.
biggest barriers we have is the worry of job loss, job security.
Absolutely.
So people who have that
Absolutely.
are going to be gatekeepers. So if you take a
Yeah.
decision making unit, you have all these type of profiles, and if you don't manage it, right, you will not be able to sell. So mainly what we are talking today is going to be more on the B2B or business to business, or we call it business for business because
Business
it's
for
actually
business.
not,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
That's
not
the right
business,
terminology.
but business for business.
Mm.
We are a company who's business for business. We are helping you to improve your business. So it's business for
Business.
business. So if you take a business for business operation, we need to identify who our ideal customer profile is,
Mm.
or who our ICP is. And that's what we're going to talk about, Rajiv.
Yeah.
So let me go into the first slide because we are always challenged with the time. I think the first thing we need to do is consider, you start with what you already have, which is your existing customer, right?
Yeah.
Look into our existing customers. When you look into our customers, like example, we do this, don't we, Ajay? we always look at our customers and we consider, okay, who are the cash cows now? If you take the
Yeah.
BCG matrix, that's where one of the places where we use this term cash cows. These are customers who generate more value for you. They have a higher average order value. If you take the annual order value is high. They are some of your biggest contributors. If you take the Pareto, you will have 20% of such customers who are contributing about 80% to your organization.
80%
Right?
of the
So
revenue. Yeah.
you take those 20%, the cash cows, the ones who are the most contributing to your organization in terms of revenue, and also the ones that you are adding more value to, because we are in a market where there's so much of competition. Now, obviously, being an entrepreneur, being a business leader, what we always say is don't go into competition. Look at business that is different to competition, right? That the business that you have less competition, that's a niche. However, how you can really determine this is when you know that you're adding value. There are times that you do certain businesses, certain services that you know, like this is not even part of our business, and we are not really kind of, why are we doing this? But we're doing it for the sake of keeping the customer happy, right? But that's not real value addition. It may be value addition for the customer, but not really from your side. You're not. That's not your core business. Right? So consider this. Also, look at which customers you enjoy working. I think that is very important. Now, this is going beyond business. Personally, something Azi and I believe in. We always look at the fact that do you enjoy working with these customers, right? And because the next point is exclude your headache customers, because you want to be headache free in your life. Whether it's life,
Yeah.
work, if you are having headaches, if you're battling with challenges because of service, because of attitude, because of not being able to deliver things, various reasons, exclude such customers who gives you headaches, right?
Yeah.
We call it a headache cost in a way, right? So take it out. Yeah, you were going to say something.
Yeah, yet again, this is we are sharing our own opinion and experience. Some may agree, some may not. But end of the day, when we are serving clients, so clients should believe in you, and you should believe in your client. It's not a customer. It's end of the day, it's a partnership that you work with. You when you work with your customers, right? So I just wanted to highlight that point. Yes,
Exactly, Azi. That's very important. So look at this. Look at these factors. Now, once you've done this, if you have example 10 customers, obviously you might have more, you will cut down your listing to probably 3 customers or two customers, because you're talking of the Pareto, right? If you have 10, you're talking of 2 customers, 20%. These 2 customers are the ones you would always want to keep. Another litmus test is, Azi, to ask your team, okay, if we are going to move away from all our customers and we can only keep 2 customers out of the 10, who are the 2 we want to keep? That's another way to answer this question, right? So you take those 2 customers. Yeah. You take those 2 customers and then look at, these are some, now we have actually a template, we have our own methodology that we use for this kind of ICP profile definition. Maybe as we go on, we are looking at how we can add value to you. We have access to our training, like our background platform that we use for internal training. We may open this up to our visitors, our listeners. So keep tuned, follow us on hashtag the Facebook page, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, because we might announce how you can be part of this as you go on. So we generally use a template to fill this, but this is at a very high level. We are explaining to you what we can do and how you can do this. So now you've selected these 2 customers. Look at what industry are they. Look at the size of the organization. When I mean size, it could be multiple angles. It might be the employee size. It might be the revenue. It might be how big they are in terms of the growth of the organization, number of companies, number of branches. So relevant to your business, you need to determine what size means, right? So example for us, an ideal customer would be an entrepreneur who has a business of about 50 to 100 employees, right? Because we don't want to go into enterprises, we don't want to go into new startups. So for, if you take hashtag 3.0, that is probably our size. And then look at the services or products that they sell, because that is something that you can replicate. If you have that kind of customer, you can replicate. and look at the
Yeah.
maturity. Now, when you say maturity, it depends on many facts. It could be the fact that whether they are a startup, are they, like I said, in business for about 4 to 5 years, which means they are established but they're stuck and they need growth beyond that. Or are they enterprise? Are they big? Are they having, they've been in the market for a long time? Maybe there are some
Yeah.
businesses some companies who would service for businesses which are there for ages, for years, will be multiple generations. So look at the maturity. One thing when we look at maturity is we look at the maturity of the management as well. Their thinking, the way they act, the way they make decisions. Now that's a criteria we look at because again the headache cost. We don't know want headaches later because if they're not mature enough to take a consultant's opinion, if they are not mature enough to make a decision then and there, or they need multiple approvals, that's a lot of red tape that restricts you from being able to add value to them. So look at this maturity. Now this would give you the profile of those two customers. Now once you define that, Kansi, it's very easy for you to replicate it because now you've taken the name off. So if you have ABC as a customer and you've defined this criteria, now you have a criteria and you can remove ABC name out. And all you need to do is look at who are the other companies that are in this industry, who are the other companies who have the similar size, who are the other
Yes.
companies who are providing these products and services, who are the other companies that has this level of maturity. Now from a total market out there, you will identify your total addressable market, what we call TAM. And you will know who are the audiences or the customers, the companies that you can target. In ideal world, if you penetrate 100%, you sell only if you sell your products and services, you can approach the total addressable market. In a real world, practical world, that is not possible. But at least without knowing that market, you cannot move it. So, Azi, I think with time we are stuck at 17 minutes going into 18 minutes.
Yes.
More.
Yes.
Sorry, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight one point, yes, as because now if you are a client who's serving your customers, and if you think that this is the type of customers that my organization is serving, pause and sit with your team and then evaluate. Because this evaluation, we believe actually you should do it at least quarterly. You do this evaluation, probably your services might be changed, the products might be changed, then obviously your ICP will change. So do that evaluation, and if you think that you need support to identify this ICP, talk to us, because we have a perfect framework where we actually doing it internally, and we have introduced that to our customers, that we can actually help you in that way to identify your correct ICP.
Definitely, Aziz. Small correction, not a perfect methodology, but a great methodology. Because
Working. Thank you
yeah,
for
it's
correcting me. Thank you.
always a
Yes.
work in progress document. We always strive for perfection, but we know perfection will never be achieved. So, but definitely the point is we can help you because we've done it for multiple organizations. We've done it ourselves. And to Asita's point, why you need to do it often is, if you remember when you talked about positioning, if you talked about branding, we said every person in your organization should be able to define what business you are in one sentence. Right? ICP is similar. If you ask all your salespeople, your marketing people, who your ideal customer profile is, and if they're giving different answers, that's an indication that you need to define your ICP. Because your ICP is not clear. They do not know who your ICP is. So this is why it's important to document it. We ourselves many years ago thought like we know it, we know who our customer is, and we have that ego that tells us why do we need document it. But when you really write this down, when you document it, it brings so much of clarity. It's so much easier for you, and it's so much easier to explain it, and it will help you to kind of really understand how to target, how to do messaging. So with that, Asi, I think we'll stop. But next week we want to go into a bit of detail on ICP, where we talk about buyer personas. We talked about the DMU. So we are going to go into details of who you need to look at, how you're going to match the buyer personas, and then once you've got this done, then how you're going to the next level of your strategy. So I think with that, Asif, we can end today's edition. By the way, which is the 30th edition, 30th episode of Asif. We've done it 30 weeks.
Celebration.
So leave a comment, let us know what you like, what you don't like, because we constantly want to change it. As we said, we want to bring in some interviews. We need to do some other things,
Yeah.
but we want to hear from you. So with that, I'm ending today's edition. I'm Yasas.
And I'm Asif from signing off A to 9.
Take care and we see you next week. Have a good week.
Cheers.